Is this scene still familiar? The 3 o'clock bell rings and a child darts out of math class. He clicks through a cell phone, texting, checking sports stats, watching a YouTube video, friending someone on Facebook. He walks into the synagogue building, sits at a desk with posters of orange groves and Israeli singers on the walls, and is asked to look at a paragraph of Hebrew text. His eyes dart down to the cell hidden under the desk. The teacher describes the mitzvah of building a sukkah while passing out edible supplies to make models. The child is watching a video of 3 guys jumping a car over a line of elephants tethered together. The kids rush through the project and then race off to the sanctuary to practice the service they are to lead in 3 weeks. The child spends that weekend with his 2 dads on the other side of town, and services are not part of the plan. A song leader takes to the bima and leads the children in an Israeli tune. Most of the children slump in their seats, the song sheet of Hebrew lyrics indecipherable. What does this music mean? The rhythm is familiar from a piece he's working on with his rock band. Bell rings. The child grabs his backpack and phone and stampedes to the door of the synagogue. Text from mom. She's running late from work. She finally pulls up and he jumps into a car. Mom has a box of pizza on hand. They are off to Taekwondo. How was religious school? What did you talk about? Huh? Is the only response between mouthfuls. Roughly 70 to 75% of the children enrolled in Jewish education are in after-school synagogue settings. We need to ask ourselves how this current form of education is shaping the Jewish community of the future. Where are we leading our children, the next generation of Jews, and for what purpose? We want them to take up their inheritance, what they rightfully have received from their ancestors, in order to create a life of meaning now and for future generations. The Jewish world resides within a world changing at a breakneck pace. Where we once resided within a particular shtetl or community, within a particular denomination of Judaism, now we live in synchrony and openness to the world around us. We are constantly searching for answers and are more willing than ever to turn to a variety of sources. Once limited to parents, teachers, rabbis, and books, now we search for answers from friends on Facebook, the experts at Wikipedia, and from alternative religious and cultural experiences. The boundaries between Jewish culture and global culture are so very porous. Entering the 21st century, it is reasonable to ask if the need for Jewish life or Jewish community is even necessary anymore. Judaism is a 5,000-year-old tradition based on a calendar of celebration, ethical practice, social justice, community, and food. We know it is an inheritance worth claiming in a world of distraction. This is the task of Jewish education. We must shepherd the next generation of Jews and empower them to create their own meaningful Jewish future. We have to ask ourselves, do we leave this to chance, to random self-exploration, or do we grab hold of the process? And how do educators make Jewish life compelling and accessible? Where do Jewish schools stand? In the past, debates about Jewish education were about, should American children go to Sunday school like Christian children? Should a Jewish child learn Torah in the basement cheder, or how to play baseball and speak English at the settlement house? How much should a Jewish school resemble an American public school? Do teachers need to be professionals or just well-meaning learned folks? So now, in these times of breathless change, advances in technology, incredible stimulation, carefully budgeted time, mixing and changing forms of identity, new family structures, economic swings both upwards and downwards, access to travel anywhere on the planet or to be there virtually in an instant. How should Jewish education adapt and change? In the last 20 years in particular, we have come to embrace experiences for Jewish children that are unlike their normal day at public school. The list of these experiences includes day schools, summer camps, youth groups, and Israel trips. They all aim for learning, fun, and socializing in a different way. a way that is more immersive. These experiences have proven to be quite powerful. Children learn to love Shabbat, Hebrew, and Israel. They often feel part of a proud Jewish people for the first time. They get to live the connections between Jewish text, Jewish values, and real life. They make Jewish friends. The fact remains, though, that a majority of Jewish families continue to rely on supplemental schools to provide a Jewish education. We've been listening to a wide range of leaders committed to reframing both general and Jewish education through an experiential approach. Specifically, how can we take the successful educational experience known as camp and integrate it into school settings? Jewish children like summer camp. They want to go, have fun with friends, and look up to their counselors. In addition to a pile of dirty laundry and a more colorful vocabulary, they come home motivated and enthusiastic about Shabbat, Jewish ritual, Israeli and Jewish music, dance, and food. Let's try to make the rest of the year like that. But camps have trees and a lake. Most schools do not. The camp program often keeps kids active throughout the day. Most schools are confined to a less imaginative site during limited afternoon or weekend hours. Camps have emerging adults who function as educators and role models all throughout the day. Schools have teachers with whom kids spend less time and have less in common. Camp is away from family, and kids perceive a higher level of independence. School is with the family. Camp is 24/7 and contained for 4 to 8 weeks. Schools compete with busy schedules. To fully understand the potential of experiential education, we must understand more about this approach and what it can or cannot accomplish. We call this a ReFrame of supplemental education. A ReFrame means that we gather the people and practices and ideas that continue to serve well, turn them and adapt them, and add new ideas and practices with well-trained people to create strong, well-framed, sustainable structures for the Jewish future. A reframed mind disassembles a camp and thinks about how to build the essential elements of experiential education, what makes it work, back into the rest of the year and back into a learning environment that can include children and families. It can also be energized and fun. It can teach important content in a variety of ways. It can link with what happens in the summer. It can link with other experiences of community, volunteerism, celebration, and travel. It can create the pipeline for energetic counselors to continue on the path as Jewish teachers and leaders. How might experiential education be reframed for a supplemental school? Picture a Bible class where the Jewish educator gathers the 6th grade students in the sanctuary. They are asked to stand in the center as the entire Sefer Torah is unrolled, and the huge parchment envelops the class. The educator asks the students to travel in time to different episodes in Jewish biblical history by way of the Torah scroll. Where is creation, she asks, or the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, the Tower of Babel, the 10 plagues? The students see and feel themselves surrounded by their tradition. The educator facilitates and asks the group to reflect. What do you think is the meaning of these stories? Why are they so important to us today? They share with each other first in partners, then act out interpretations of biblical scenes in groups, followed by journaling on their thoughts and feelings. The students' eyes are engaged. Why? They are encouraged to run around, imagine, think creatively, and share their own ideas. They are provided a forum to have fun, and they are also learning, and not just on the surface. They engage in serious discussion and gain significant knowledge of Jewish history and tradition. They test their Hebrew language skills, understand the origins of Jewish holidays, grapple with text, and learn about one another in the process. This is more than just having fun. This is creating significant opportunity for Jewish learning and literacy, and it's not happening on a soccer field or by a lake. It's within the walls of a synagogue. A ReFrame will push ourselves to ask a series of essential questions. 1. What are we trying to accomplish? This basic question will push us to identify and prioritize our goals, map what is currently available to families, as well as what is just emerging, and allow us to identify the opportunities and limitations of an experiential approach. 2. Where's the content? Too many experiences fall back on building Jewish community or creating social networks as the end goals of Jewish education. While these are important, we must identify some vehicles for delivering the time-honored value of content as determined by each community. This requires us to take a real hard look at how we design experiences that really teach something about Judaism, be it laws and customs of Shabbat, the meaning of Tikkun Olam, knowledge about Israel, skills in prayer, Hebrew language acquisition. 3. What do folks need to succeed? There are so many education leaders thirsting for the opportunity to learn more about experiential techniques and to share best practices. This includes rabbis, lay leaders, and parents. It also includes leveraging a growing population of emerging adults who already serve in these roles at summer camp and on Israel trips. 4. How do we make sure our efforts are sustainable, accountable, and successful over time? The risk of innovation is to charge forward without a plan for sustainability and assessment. How do we keep excellence and innovation going? These 4 questions are the bold ones, which must be asked about the entire field, and we're excited to facilitate this dialogue. The Davidson Graduate School of Jewish Education at the Jewish Theological Seminary is ready to facilitate this ReFrame. We will start by identifying how the recent strides in experiential education can be applied to settings during the school year that are considered to be supplemental or complementary to what occurs in secular schools. In fact, the conversation has started. If you want to learn more about ReFrame, visit our website.